The 162-game marathon is now a sprint. Only 13 games remain on the schedule. The Angels have clawed their way back into striking distance in the wild card race and now control their own destiny. Since taking 2 of 3 from the Astros in Anaheim, the Halos have inched closer to the one-game wild card playoff, while Houston has lost their grip on the division. For the Angels to complete the comeback and find their way back into the postseason, they need to keep getting huge performances from the expected and the unexpected. With the two teams headed in opposite directions, these next 3 games in Houston will go a long way in determining the fate of both. The next 2 weeks promise to be a mad dash to the finish, and it starts right now.
After taking 3 of 4 against the Minnesota Twins, the Angels find themselves in the Lone Star State. It's a 3-game series, a crucial one at that, against the Houston Astros here at Minute Maid Park. Let's take a look at the standings in the American League West. The Texas Rangers are idle tonight. They will be in Oakland beginning tomorrow for a 3-game series. Astros a game and a half back, the Angels 4 back in the West, and the Halos, of course, with the loss yesterday, now 2.5 back of Houston. As we welcome you inside Minute Maid and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza, I'm Victor Rojas. And Mike Scioscia today will send Jared Weaver to the mound. Perhaps probably the guy that you want against a very aggressive hitting ball club in the Houston Astros. A.J. Hinch, on the other hand, is going to counter with Dallas Keuchel's had a very good season.
This should be a very good pitching matchup. Weaver's the perfect guy, especially with his feel for his curveball and changeup. Take a look at our AT Uverse rewind going back to September 11th when he faced the Astros at the Big A. He had a great feel for that curveball, and his changeup slider was very good. Fastball and velocity was solid enough to get the hitters out in front. They are extremely aggressive on a fastball, so if you can mix in that breakable, changeup, and slider for Weaver, he should be successful, and he's pitched very well against the Astros this season. Got an ERA in 3 starts of 1.71. Dallas Keuchel, though, at here at Minute Maid Park, 13-0 when they ran 1.49. He's been that good at this ballpark. A hitter's ballpark. He's throwing the ball very well. He's kept the ball down. Should be a challenge tonight.
Yeah, Keuchel's coming off one of his worst outings of his career, giving up 9 runs to the Texas Rangers. And you remember the Astros were swept in a 4-game set against Texas earlier last week. When we return to Minute Maid Ballpark, we're going to talk about the head-to-head matchup between these two teams. Angels baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. By Jack in the Box. Get the new steak and egg breakfast burrito at Jack in the Box. It's not your basic breakfast burrito. By Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Ready for game one of a three-game set. The Halos on the season, Gooby, 7-9 against the Astros.
Yeah, the Astros have hit the ball pretty well against, especially with runners in scoring position over 300 in the 16 games. But when you look at, though, a lot of close games, the last 14 games between the two clubs have been decided by one run. Home runs, 21. The Astros have the edge over the Angels in that one. But in this ballpark with Mike Trout and Albert Pujols, and when they swing the bat, and David Freese, who's got very good numbers against Keuchel, that could switch around an opportunity to win this first game.
We're just about ready for baseball here in Houston. Sit back and relax. Going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. A.J. Hinch, the manager of the Astros, and Mike Scioscia exchanging the lineup cards and going through the ground rules here at Minute Maid Park. Jared Weaver's ready to go. Dallas Keuchel is ready to go as well. He is in the Astros dugout on the first base side. And, of course, we talked about it already, Gooby. This is a very important series. Every game the rest of the way with 2 weeks left in the season to go. Very important, but this is the last time you will face a team that is right ahead of you, so they've got to take care of business.
And especially this game tonight, if you can pull this one out and win this game against Dallas Keuchel, who's throwing the ball so well, and especially here in this ballpark, you have the right guy on the mound in Jared Weaver to face him. But all of a sudden, then Houston starts to stress a little bit more so, because they're still ahead of the game. They're not anticipating being in this position, and all of a sudden they're going to start worrying about where they are in the standings.
Well, the winner of tonight's game will pick up a half game on the idle Texas Rangers. They will begin a series against the Oakland Athletics tomorrow night at the Coliseum. Then Texas comes here for a three-game series. Their last matchup for a weekend set. That silver boot that the Texas Rangers have already won. They've already won the head-to-head after sweeping the Astros in that four-game series in Arlington last week. The Astros have taken the field. We will take a look at Mike Scioscia's starting lineup for the Angels. Game number 150 of the season at 76 and 73. It's Eric Ibar leading things off. He's in short. Cole Calhoun in right. Mike Trout at center. Albert Pujols, the cleanup hitter at DH. C.J. Cron at first. David Freese at third. Shane Victorino gets the start with a lefty on the mound. He's in left field. Carlos Perez behind the plate. Taylor Featherston the Houston native, batting ninth, playing second base. So taking on Dallas Keuchel, we mentioned his rough outing his last time out, 9 earned runs. Not a very long performance, not a very good one. Gave up the long ball, which is very uncharacteristic for Keuchel, but still a 17-game winner.
Yeah, 211 in the third innings pitch. That's a high total for him right now. Not quite the zip on his fastball, but my go-tos to be successful against Keuchel don't help him out. He's pitches a lot of pitches away. Bring him in the middle part of the plate. Think small, be small. Think the middle of the ballpark. Don't think in terms of trying to pull that ball out to left field out of the ballpark. He'll make a mistake here and there, but if you try to pull the ball, you're going to have a tough time against him.
Check out the defense for the Astros tonight in game number 1. It's Rasmus Marisnik and Springer in the outfield from left to right. Still no Carlos Gomez. He's dealing with an oblique strain. Lowry, Correa, Altuve, and Valbuena from third to first, and Castro behind the plate.
Altuve at second has been very good this season in that position. We always talk about his offense, but his defense very solid. Top fielding percentage this year amongst AL second baseman Altuve at the top. We faced these three on this road trip. Robinson Cano right behind him, and Brian Dozier at 990. Altuve last year was 986. Has improved even more so. This turned 77 double plays.
Keuchel's making his 31st start of the season. We mentioned the 17-8 record, a 2.56 ERA. That's second best in the American League, to that of David Price. Ibar ready to lead things off. First one tonight is down low for ball 1. Eric hitting 270, 8 home runs, with 38 runs batted in. Angels, of course, lost the finale of the 4-game set against the Twins yesterday, 8-1. Eric was in the leadoff spot yesterday, went 1 for 3 with a walk and a single. Halos out on the road now, 32-42. The Astros have played good baseball here. This one spotted foul. 50-25 at home this season for the Houston Astros.
Yeah, outstanding numbers for them at home. Very comfortable in this ballpark, especially swinging the bat.
Only 3 other teams in baseball have at least 50 wins at home. Cardinals, Pirates, Dodgers, and the Astros. The only one in the American League is Ibar. Lifts one out to right center field. Good piece of hitting on the off-speed pitch. Leadoff man is on board.
And that's that good approach. And my Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful. A little Montel Jordan. This is how we do it, and that means going the other way. Hit the ball well. Don't try to pull the baseball. Good swings on mistakes.
Like that song.
You like it?
Yeah.
Might have to sing it for me.
Whether you're an uppercase or lowercase G, it's a great song, man.
Oh yeah.
Cole Calhoun steps in with a man on and nobody out. Montel Jordan, your bag of tricks. I like it.
Oh, yeah. Big game.
0-1 count on Cole. 259 average, 23 home runs, 77 runs batted in. 0 for 4 yesterday. On base percentage has dipped down to .313. Lowry's off the line and not even with the bag at third. Cole chases the breaking ball and gets away from Castro. Ibar will turn and he's going to try to go to third base, and ill-advised, and he is out. Mental mistake by Eric Ibar. I know that Mike Scioscia doesn't like to fault hustle, but you've got to know that there's nobody out and you're already in scoring position.
And that's the thing, you're in scoring position against a very tough pitcher. That breaking ball gets away from Castro. You also have to be in the scoring position, and especially with another breaking ball potentially in the dirt after this one. I think he sensed the fact that Castro didn't go after that baseball, that sense of urgency, especially dealing with the on-deck circle and the bats around there, but still a perfect throw to get him at third.
There's that breaking ball you were saying with 2 strikes. Cannot give away opportunities, especially against Dallas Keuchel, regardless of how many runs he gave up in his last start.
Yeah, that's the thing. He gave up all those runs. You want to keep pressure on him. You don't want to let him get on a roll now at this point. Instead of having that stress of having Cole up with Ibar at second, followed by Troutman and Pujols, potentially at least a run, if not more, in the first inning against him. Now you have to start all over now, and hopefully Cole can work his way on base.
2-2 on the way. And Cole strikes out swinging, out number 2.
Goes in there with a little cut fastball, brings it back on the inside part of the plate. Talked to a number of hitters about Keuchel the last time out. It was in Anaheim. They felt they had some chances, even though he gave up no earned runs, 3 unearned runs because he didn't feel that one ground ball back at him. They felt they were starting to read the baseball well out of his hand.
Bases clear, 2 outs, and here's Trout. Down and away. You mentioned the innings thing for Dallas Keuchel. It's interesting. You see, take a look at Trout's numbers, but last year it was a career high 200 innings for Keuchel coming into tonight's game. He's at 211 and a third. Oh, it misses upstairs. Oh, Angel Hernandez calls it a strike. It's 1-1. So you start to wonder if the innings total starts to mount. Now you modify your workout between starts too to kind of rest for that second half.
The thing is, it's kind of becomes an annoying question to you every time. If you give up a hit or a run, is it because you've thrown too many innings? And he's a guy that wants the baseball. You know that. He was outstanding even starting the All-Star game. But those innings are getting higher and higher, and every time if he has a bad inning or a bad game, all of a sudden everyone's asking that same question. And then all of a sudden you think in your mind, is my stuff not as good now?
That's fouled back. Big rip by Mike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, and it obviously stands out even more so when you have a blow-up game like Keuchel had in a crucial series. I mean, you're talking about you're feeling pretty good about the Astros. If you're the Astros, you've lost the first 2. You've got your ace on the mound. All of a sudden, he goes boom on the mound.
And 3 home runs allowed, too.
Very uncharacteristic. Down and in, full count.
When you think about prior to that game, he only allowed 13 the entire season. You're pitching the majority of your games in this ballpark. But I think the key against him is don't think of trying to pull the baseball. The baseball carries very well to right field, right center field here also. He gets a lot of hitters look at that short porch and left trying to pull his pitches.
3-2 to Trout, and he pulls this one and off the glove of Lowry into left field. That ball was smoked. A 2-out single for Trout, and Albert will get an opportunity with a man on.
It's a super quick infield to begin with, and that ball was rocketed by him.
Lowry, not a traditional third baseman, a shortstop by trade.
A cut fastball. The turn on gets it by Lowry. A tough little hop also.
Hindsight's always going to be 20/20, but what would have been if Ibar had just stayed at second base? Here's Albert. DHing once again. 238 average, 35 home runs, 85 runs batted in. He drives one out towards center field. Marisnick racing back. He was already playing deep. And onto the track he goes, up on Towles Hill. And it's the 3rd out of the inning. The Angels leave a man on. We'll head to the bottom of the 1st. We're scoreless. Astros at 79 and 71. Second place in the West, a game and a half back as Jose Altuve will lead things off. George Springer in right. Carlos Correa, the shortstop. Jed Lowry's the cleanup hitter at third base. Colby Rasmus, a multi-homer game yesterday. He's in left. Evan Gattis at DH. Luis Valbuena over at first base. Jason Castro behind the plate. And Jake Marisnick, who tracked down the ball that Pujols just hit to straightaway center field, is batting ninth, playing center. Jared Weaver on the mound, making his 24th start of the season, 7 and 11. 4.74 ERA.
In his thrown, we talked about that in the opening, how well he has thrown this season against the Astros in his career. 5 and 2 with an ERA just under 2.5. My go-tos for Weaver is to be successful against this Astro lineup. Go back to how many strikes he's thrown with his curveball. 82% of his curveballs he's thrown for strikes against the Astros compared to the 73 around the game. Very important, that pitch against this Astro free swinging lineup.
Fourth start against the Houston Astros this season. Now Altuve's ready to go now. First one's up and in. Jared against the Astros this year, 2-0, 1.71 ERA, 16 strikeouts, just 2 walks. Total of 4 runs allowed in 21 innings of work. One ball, 1 strike. Altuve hitting .311, 12 home runs, 59 runs batted in. .337 here at this ballpark this year. Leads the American League in hits, and he drives this one out toward left field, chasing Shane Victorino back, reaches up, and he made the catch. On a full sprint to left center field, Victorino robs Altuve of extra bases.
Boy, and a big high five right away from Mike Trout. What an outstanding play to start this game for the former Gold Glove winner, playing left field tonight. This is not an easy ballpark to play left field. On the sprint, reaches up. An outstanding play by Victorino. One of those plays that can really spark you as a pitcher when you have a play like that made behind you right away like that. And Weaver liking that play by Victorino.
Springer takes low. Midst of a 6-game hitting streak. Overall, he's at .260 with 14 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Two balls and no strikes. There's a strike. No, it's low. 3-0.
I've seen Springer in these counts before. He'd be aggressive on a fastball. Good location there for Weaver.
Delayed call by the home plate umpire Angel Hernandez on the balls and strikes today. Chris Conway at first, had Barrett the crew chief at second, Sam Holbrook at third base. Crew for this 3-game set. 3-1. Full count.
Still think you stay away against Springer. You can tell by that swing. Pulls off the baseball. He's trying to hook a ball into that left field short porch. Stay away, stay down.
3-2. Got him looking down. Goes Springer. 2 outs.
Good pitch there for Weaver. A couple of them pretty close in that whole sequence against Springer. Paints that fastball downstairs at the knees, middle part of the plate, just touching the lower part of the zone, hit 85.
2 outs, nobody on. Carlos Correa, the batter. He will take a strike. Correa .273 on the season, 18 home runs, 53 runs batted in. Weaver in that last start against Houston. It's on the 11th of September. Went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. Gave up a home run to Carlos Gomez. 2 balls and a strike. Weaver asking Hernandez, the home plate umpire, if that pitch was off the plate. 2-2. Here's the Angels defensively. Shane Victorino left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun at right. The infield with David Freese and Eric Ibar on the left. Taylor Featherston, C.J. Cron on the right. Carlos Perez behind the plate. Two. Correa fouls it back. Chase the high fastball.
Well, early in this game, Weaver throwing a lot more fastballs. We talked about that in the pregame show about his fastball. Although you're seeing 85, 86, you think, okay, that's not a firm fastball. The way he throws the ball and the extension he gets as he drives towards the plate, that baseball is on you a lot quicker as a hitter.
Breaking pitch out toward left field. Victorino moving back, pulls up. It's off the out-of-town scoreboard. Correa's trying to go to second. The throw is easily in time.
What an inning for Victorino.
Shane Victorino gets the job done twice.
What a perfect play. Fielded on the wall like he would be back at Fenway Park for Victorino. Two outstanding plays. Trucks, Shane Victorino. Carlos Correa hit this ball hard off the wall and in left field, but plays it perfectly off the wall. Bare hand, perfect strike. And it's Taylor Featherston. Well done that entire inning by Shane Victorino, picking up his 6th outfield assist this season.
Shane due up third as Crone chases the first pitch off the plate for a strike. Crone freeze and then Shane Victorino. Second inning against Dallas Keuchel. Gave up a couple of hits in the first. Nothing for the Angels. Crone back at first base, hitting .267. 14 home runs, 44 runs batted in. Two-hit game yesterday afternoon, going 2 for 3. Both singles. Two balls, one strike.
And the objective against Keuchel is don't try to pull the baseball unless he makes a mistake inside.
Count evened up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Limited schedule throughout Major League Baseball today. One interleague game. It's Baltimore and Washington. That was postponed. White Sox at the Tigers. Tampa Bay at Boston. Yankees at Toronto. And of course, this game here. Twins are idle. Cleveland is off, as are the Texas Rangers.
A couple of full counts already in this game for Keuchel. Second one of the game.
Broken bat pop up. Keuchel makes the catch. 1 out.
And that cut fastball in on the hands. One guy right here for me, we talk about Pujols, Trout, and Eric Ibar. Freeze may be the key to this series, especially in this game. Real good career numbers against Keuchel. 9 for 19, 474 hitter with a home run and 6 RBI.
Swings through the first one. The pitch that was up in the zone. That's what we talked about at the beginning with Keuchel, his issues in his last start against Texas. Guy that has lived in the bottom half of the strike zone all season long.
He's one of the best pitchers as far as getting ground balls. Freeze wants to know if that ball was above the strike zone.
0-2 count. Two down, second strikeout for Keuchel. Again, David just talking with Angel.
And this is another one of those cut fastballs upstairs. Again, because a couple of those pitches were called strikes during that at bat. You have to be forced to swing it. That's what he's probably said to him. I have to swing at that because you might call that a strike if it's going to be called upper part of the strike zone.
Just never know with an Angel Hernandez strike zone what it's going to be any given night. That's George Springer. Borderline pitch called out on strikes. Victorino takes a strike on the outside corner. 228 on the year with a home run. 6 runs batted in. 206 hitter in 30 games with the Angels this year. 2 terrific defensive plays in the bottom of the first. Chopper back up the middle, glove by Keuchel. The Angels go down in order. We'll head to the bottom of the second with no score. Sunday he did this against Houston Street, capping that 5-run ninth inning against Houston as the Angels were on the verge of not only shutting out the Astros but sweeping the series. They had their foot on the proverbial throat of the Houston Astros and let them get back up. They won that game 5-3.
Yeah, that score at that point 3-0. You mentioned was 2 outs and a 1-2 pitch to Tucker. Preston Tucker hit a home run on a fastball by Houston Street, and then they just capitalized and ended up winning that game 5-3.
Lowry, Rasmussen, Gaddis here against Jared Weaver. Breaking ball for a strike. Switch hitting third baseman, hitting .241, 9 home runs, 30 runs batted in. Serving as the cleanup hitter for A.J. Hinch. Lowry hooks one down the right field line, and that is foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Outside. Weaver picked up a strikeout in the first. That was the one of Springer. Went down looking. Correa credited with a single before being thrown out at second by Victorino. Lowry again pulls a foul. This one into the seats.
Just looking at Lowry swinging against Weaver tonight. I think his changeup should be a good pitch. Fastball, changeup away, especially ahead of the count. It's been on the breaking ball so far.
Lowry skies one to right field. Cole underneath it. 1 down. Hey fans, join us for Oktoberfest Friday when the Angels take on the Seattle Mariners on it's a 7:05 start on Friday. Fans in attendance will receive a boot mug courtesy of Shock Top while supplies last. Get your tickets at the stadium box office or you can get them online.
It's Friday night.
Colby Rasmus, the left fielder. Looks at a strike. .237 batting average, 21 home runs, 53 RBIs. Signed to a 1-year deal in the offseason. Some veteran presence at outfield.
So far in this game, the Astro hitters against Weaver have been patient on first pitch. Remember that game in Anaheim? They were hacking early. Clearly the game plan, when you look at Altuve and Springer, they swing at over 40% of first pitches thrown to them this season. Yet they both took the first pitch.
I mentioned he had 7 strikeouts in that game, but they didn't start happening till really later on in the game. On the inside corner, 2-2. And a couple of guys that racked up some punch outs in that game are not playing today. 6 strikeouts between Valbuena, Gonzalez, and Conger. Valbuena is the only guy that is in the lineup today. He's the first baseman. 2-2 downstairs. Full count. Evan Gattis on deck. Notorious early swinger in counts. Rasmus works the walk. First free pass issued by Weaver. It'll bring up Gattis at DH. Gattis will roll into double plays though. 13 so far this year.
Especially if he gets him to swing a slider down off the outside part of the plate.
Gattis, a .243 hitter this year, 25 home runs and 83 runs batted in. Also with 18 doubles and 9 triples. First pitch swinging, rolls it foul. There's that slider.
Weaver's got 8 ground ball double plays turned behind him this year.
Good lead for Rasmus. Now we're missing up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rasmus doesn't run a whole lot, just 2 stolen bases. The Astros do run quite a bit as a team. They lead the circuit with 110 stolen bases. Altuve leading the way with 37. Rasmus takes off. Gaddis pulls it foul. That pitch was up in the zone. So it's 1-2 with Rasmus heading back over to first base. Gaddis, a dangerous hitter at home this year. We talk about the overall batting average, 243. He's at 272 here. 14 of his 25 home runs hit at Minute Maid Park.
A lot of the hitters in this Astros club have had much better numbers here, which is understandable. It's a good hitter's yard.
10 points better at home as a team than out on the road. And while they have struggled this month in September, they are 6-12 in September. Really, the pitching's the one that's caused the issues. They haven't pitched well. A 5.13 ERA. From a batting average standpoint, it's their best month of the season. Hitting 271, their previous best month, 257. That was in June. Rasmus doesn't go, and Gaddis drives one out to deep left into the corner, and that is gone. 2-0 Houston. A line shot down the line, and Gaddis hits his 26th of the season.
Trying to sneak a fastball inside. He brought his hands in well. And hits a 2-run home run out. Astros strike early. Tried to sneak this one in. He was ready for it. He's ready for any fastball throw. Surprised they did go with that pitch. You can almost bounce it against him.
Yeah.
Breaking ball.
It's kind of like Chris Carter. You know, I'll try to sneak a fastball in.
You better be throwing upper 90s. Even then, he's going to make a good pass at a fastball inside.
Valbuena takes low, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Getting the start today at first base. 209 average, but 22 home runs and 51 RBIs. A walk and a 2-run blast. 2-0 Houston here in the second. And Valbuena launches one to right field. This one's hooking foul. Count still to the ball and 2 strikes. Change him, and that's line to first. 2 outs. Jason Castro, left-hand hitting catcher, coming to the plate now. And Conger, more than likely not available. He's dealing with a sore throwing shoulder. And Stassi is the backup catcher. Castro was still on the DL. The Astros were at Big A. There's Hank. 0-1 count. 219 hitter this year. 11 home runs, 30 runs batted in. 0-2.
2 really good slow curveballs from Weaver. 67 on both of them. Muscled up a little bit on that changeup.
Handles in the third of Perez, Featherston, and Ibar. Fouled off. Count remains at 1-2. Astros up 2-0 on the Gaddis home run. 26th of the year now with 85 runs batted in.
So we had a very solid season for the Astros.
Picked up in a deal with the Atlanta Braves. 2 balls, 2 strikes. .25 pitches thrown this inning for Weaver. It's the 41st in the game coming, and it's down and in. Full count. Jared, of course, his last start ejected after hitting Kyle Seager. Took the loss against Seattle as Castro fouls it back. Weaver going forward, 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk in that one, plus the hit batter. Called strike 3. Castro goes down looking. He thought he'd drop ball 4. Instead, it's the 3rd out, but the Astros strike first. 2-0 as we head to the 3rd. Tag West data strong fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Angels play from behind against Dallas Keuchel and the Houston Astros, down 2-0. Courtesy of Evan Gattis's 2-run blast off the foul pole, FOWL pole, down the left field line. It's a sponsored foul pole. I spelled it that way. Perez, Featherston, and Ibar. Keuchel coming off a 1-2-3 second. He has 2 punch outs and 2 hits allowed. Down low. Cardinals hitting .244. 3 home runs, 17 RBIs. 1 for 4 game yesterday. Good month of September. So she's pretty much running him out there every day. Former Astro.
You mentioned September, 374. It's also 2 for 4 in his career versus Keuchel.
This one line to right. There's a base hit.
That's that approach we're talking about, going that way.
Second time that the Angels have had a leadoff single. Ibar started the game with a base hit.
Stayed back on this very well, going fastball away, just went with the pitch. You can see right then and there, kept his head still, eyes on the baseball, the stride just to try to punch the ball to right field. Shoulders were good and level for Carlos Perez. He's caught him a number of times, you got to believe, in the past, so he knows his tendency is going to go away a lot. That's what you got to try to do.
Featherston takes a strike. Taylor hitting .166 with a couple of home runs. And 9 runs batted in. Houston native. The other went to school at Taylor High School. And off to TCU. Trying to pull that outside pitch. No balls, 2 strikes. Featherston yesterday went 0 for 2.
Yeah, Keuchel throws enough cut fastballs inside to make you aware of that. But then he's going to pitch that 2-seam fastball, 4-seam, and changeup away.
Just off the plate.
He will backdoor his slider. With that changeup on that same spot of the plate.
Springer very shallow and right. Marisnik's in center, playing him toward right center field. Infield in a couple of steps, looking for a double play ball. The 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Same exact spot as the previous pitch.
Yeah, off the plate by about a baseball and a half. And Keuchel's got 20 double plays turned behind him. This year, when he's on his game, he is a ground ball machine.
One down. That was even further off the plate. 3rd strikeout for Keuchel.
Especially after you track the 2 pitches before for Featherston. Track them off the plate, and he threw a changeup a little bit further off the plate, and he swung at it.
There's Ibar. Led off the game with a base hit to right center field. Took second on a wild pitch, but then tried to take the extra base as Castro was slow to get the baseball, but is easily thrown out for the first down in the 1st inning. Base running blunder. As Trout eventually had a base hit with 1 out, or well, at that point 2 outs. It would have been 1 out.
Ibar so important for this club, but their success when he's swinging the bat well. And another backdoor slider staying away. Cut fastballs in.
Top part of the strike zone. It kind of tells you about the strike zone when you've had this many guys on both sides already kind of asking Angel Hernandez about the strike zone. That one just did touch the top part of the zone. But hitters are fine with, hey, if you're going to call one part of the zone, that's cool, but you can't call every single quadrant and beyond. Swing and a miss. Going down to second base is Perez on the wild pitch. Eric, I think, is saying that he made contact with that ball. Angel Hernandez says he's out.
See if he made any contact with this slider. It didn't appear like he did. Let's see it from this angle. We look right back at Angel Hernandez as if he did foul that one off.
2 outs. Perez in scoring position. Here's Calhoun. Cole struck out in the 1st.
Lefty's hitting only 183 this season against Dallas Keuchel.
Cole bounces this one to first. First pitch swinging. And the Angels are done here in the 3rd. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. 2-0 Houston. means baseball on FS1 continues to be your home for postseason action with the American League Division and Championship Series. Don't miss a moment of the drama and history. It all begins October the 8th on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Halos 2.5 back in the Houston Astros in the wild card, 4 back in the American League West. Texas idle tonight. They will begin a 3-game series against the Athletics tomorrow night. And that's how it looks right now. The Angels tied with Minnesota, right behind Houston. So the Angels need to take care of business not only tonight but the next couple of nights. Cleveland lurking. They are 4 back in that second wild card spot.
Yeah, they have 7 games with the Minnesota Twins.
The Yankees are losing 3-0 to Toronto. Jake Marisnick cues one over toward first. Cron's got it. It's Weaver, and there's the first down. 1 pitch out to start the third.
Good job by Weaver getting over quickly to the base. A lot of times you become a spectator on a swing like that when it's an off-balance type swing from Marisnick. And an aggressive swing. That had some serious spin action on it. Played well and good feed by C.J. Cron, and Weaver beats Marisnick to the base.
Altuve hit a ball out to left center field that was tracked down by Shane Victorino. Terrific defensive play by Shane. One of 2 such plays in the first. Throughout Correa at second base trying to stretch a single into a double.
It's 2 at-bats he's taken the first pitch. He did that against Weaver at the Big A back on September 11th.
Three balls and no strikes. Altuve skies one out to left. Shane Victorino drifting back toward the Crawford boxes, and it's over his head. Altuve gets to second base on a 3-0 pitch. Swung away, picks up his 33rd double.
He's hacking at a 3-0 fastball. He's looking at that baseball thinking he got a home run. Don't have to hit it real far to get it out to left or left center field here in this ballpark.
Man, if Shane just takes one more step back, and that's difficult because he's tracking that ball, trying to find the wall too. I think he catches that ball.
Yeah, this went over to the side of him just slightly.
Yeah, it's only 315 down the left field line here with those Crawford boxes in left. So man in scoring position for Springer. Takes up and in. Springer struck out looking in the first.
It's 3:15 down the line.
Taylor Featherston calling time. And a little word with Weaver, with Altuve standing at second.
Yeah, Altuve loves to try to steal third. There, your look back to second. Always keep an eye out for that daylight play where you flash the hand, then turn around and throw to Featherston, cover the base.
Altuve, a little spin move. He was going. Get rid of it. Featherston's got him in a rundown.
Oh. Get that tag out of the way. It's meant you don't want to have too many throws. Things can go wrong in a rundown. But what a play. Under control for Weaver. And that quick conversation that Featherston and Weaver had. The old Sutcliffe move, the spin around. Get rid of it quickly as a pitcher. You let the infielders take care of the business.
I'm surprised David gave it up because I think Altuve was ready to kind of shut it down.
Because it's dangerous, because if he stops and makes contact with Freeze, he's awarded a base.
The 1-4-5-6 put out for the second down. Springer batting now with the bases clear. 2 balls and a strike on the right fielder. Lifted on the first base side, headed toward the seats. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Change it missing low. Carlos Correa on deck. Three-two line toward left center field. Will get down for a base hit. Shane will cut it off. Springer stops at first with a single.
And went inside with the fastball. Springer's very good on the fastball inside. And how big is that pickoff now by Weaver on Altuve? That base hit would giving the Astros a 3-0 lead. Still some work to do with Carlos Correa at the plate for Weaver and the Angels, though.
Evan Gattis with a 2-run home run in the second to get Houston a 2-0 lead. Houston now with 4 hits off Weaver. Snap throw to first base, and a really good throw. Throw a little slow to get the tag down. I think if he gets it down quickly, get him.
He's got him. Drifting off for secondary lead and quickly throws back.
It's almost like CJ tried to find him before he applied the tag. That's one of those you got to catch and just swipe down.
Yeah, just as quick as you can. And as a base runner, Springer goes to that back part of the base, a little bit longer tag for a first baseman. Weeble just wants to make sure he did get back.
Correa with a base hit off the out-of-town scoreboard in left field. His first at bat, looks at a strike. Right on the corner. .15 stolen bases for Springer. He's been caught 4 times. One pitch. Correa drives one out toward right center field. Towering shot. Chasing Trout back near the wall at the warning track. Gone. Correa goes the opposite way for a 2-run home run. His 19th of the season. And it's 4-0 Houston.
It's that fastball up and away. And Correa's got good power the other way. Trying to sneak that fastball. He stayed back on that well. He's got good coverage on the outer part of the plate. Right over at 373 sign.
Going again to that fastball, though, that we saw in the last start. They were so susceptible to the off-speed stuff. Gattis got him on a fastball. Correa now gets him on a fastball.
So we were talking about even in the pregame show and even in the opening how effective the curveball and changeup were against the Astros. Yet the fastball's been the one that's been hit a couple times against Weave today.
Lowry goes down swinging, but not before Carlos Correa doubles up on the Angels. His 19th of the season. The Angels will have the heart of their order coming up, down 4-0. Appreciation Day. Join us when the Angels take on the Mariners at 12:35. All fans in attendance will have the chance to win great prizes from Apple Vacations, Monster, and Nexen Tire. Get your tickets at the stadium box office or online. Trout, Pujols, and Cron for the Angels here in the fourth. Facing Dallas, Keuchel has 4 strikeouts tonight. 3 hits allowed. All 3 have been singles.
Trout with 5 home runs in his last 8 games. Really need the offense to respond right now. Okay, don't think in terms of trying to hit a home run. Still use the middle of the field against Keuchel. Bunch those hits together. But you have to get back on the board right now.
Trout a base hit. Lining one past Lowry in the first inning. He's 1 for 1.
And a hit speed off the bat about 111 miles per hour off the bat. Trout got it by Lowry at third.
Borderline pitch goes Trout's way. That's 1-2. Off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, a lot of movement in that glove by Castro to try to bring that one back on the outside corner, clearly off the corner. See if they'll go with a changeup now. He's going back inside.
Trout looked like he went around, and he did. 1 down.
It looked like he went, stride the foot down, could not stop the bat from crossing the plate. It's a real good sequence by Keuchel against Trout.
Albert 0 for 1. Drove one out toward Towles Hill in straightaway center field, but it was tracked down by Marisnick. Ahead of the count of 2 balls, no strikes. Albert, every plate appearance. Here's the boos here in Houston. Just a reminder, they haven't forgotten. Albert in yesterday's game went 0 for 4. 2 for 4 game in the nightcap of the doubleheader on Saturday. 4-0 Houston. Here in the fourth. Takes a strike. 3-1. Chopper left side. Lowry has it. 2 down. Would have liked to have seen that first inning play out after the wild pitch. Put Ibar at second. Cole would have had a 1-1 count with nobody out. We can't play the game that way.
No, now you have a very good pitcher who's now very comfortable on the mound. A little stress early on against him.
2 balls, no strikes. Crone got jammed and popped one up to Keuchel, leading off the second. So he's 0 for 1. And the lefty starting to settle in. There's a reason why he's 13-0 here in this ballpark. A 1.49 ERA this season. 3 balls, 1 strike. A lot of deep counts though for him tonight. Halos, several of them helped him out. There's a walk. First one issued by the lefty. And we'll bring up David Freese. Again, like the Astros have done, it's a fairly easy ballpark to get right back into a game.
No question. Especially with Freese's swing, he can drive the ball to right center field with good carry. You saw Carlos Correa hit that ball that way.
David struck out in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. 5 punch outs for Keuchel. That one's off the plate and a strike.
Freese not real happy, especially that first at bat where he got some borderline pitches upstairs called against him. Then he gets called on a fastball a little bit off the outside corner.
Could hit that one with a fungo. One ball, 1 strike. One ball, 2 strikes.
That's a pretty good pitch to drive, and David Freese just missed that one straight back. Cut fastball. Keuchel got away with that one.
Two balls, 2 strikes now. Astros with what they've done all season long. They are second in home runs this year. Have 2 tonight. 2-run shot by Gaddis in the second. 2-run shot by Correa with 2 outs in the third. Now with 207 home runs on the season. Second only to the Blue Jays. 2-2. Freese takes what easily could have been called strike 3. Instead it's ball 3. Full count.
And this pitch, lower part of the strike zone, touches the lower part of the strike zone. The corner on Fox strikes at 90. Another full count for Keuchel.
Crone will get a head start at first with 2 outs. He worked a 2-out walk. Freese fouls it back. Roof is closed at Minute Maid Park. Nice night out. Not a bad day anyway.
We're here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Three-two and Freeze goes down swinging for the third out. The Angels leave a man on at the bottom of the fourth. Still 4-0 Houston.
Estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By AT Uverse, more live channels on the go than cable. And by Infinity, luxury cars that delivered inspired performance.
4-0 Astros lead at bottom of the fourth here at Minute Maid Park. Game one of a three-game series. Colby Rasmus, Evan Gattis, Luis Valbuena coming up against Jared Weaver. 60 pitches for Weaver. 38 have been strikes. 3 punch outs, 1 walk. 5 hits, 2 unfortunately left the building. Rasmus drives one out to right field. Cole back at the wall, and he will make the catch. Didn't sound as if he got it all, but gave it a ride to the wall for the first down here in the fourth.
Anything hitting the air in this ballpark, unless it's the center field, has a chance to get out. Curveball outside part of the play towards the end of the bag, but all the way to the wall, and Cole's able to catch it.
Gattis homering in the second, his 26th of the year, giving him 85 RBIs. Takes a changeup low. We were trying to sneak a fastball on the inside part of the plate against Gattis, and he hit it right out the foul pole on the left field line. 2 balls, no strikes. Fouled back. This one lifted out towards shallow right center. Featherston going out. Cole calls him off. 2 outs.
Yesterday in that game in Minnesota, pop up that way, and Featherston had to catch it and avoid contact with Cole. Cole calling him off right away there to make the play.
2 outs, nobody on. Luis Valbuena coming up.
One ball, one strike. Valbuena on an off-speed pitch. Line went softer to Crone in the second. Valbuena playing his 26th game at first base this evening. This one pulled over to first. CJ's got it to the backhand. Weaver has himself a 1-2-3 inning for the first time tonight. We'll head to the 5th inning. Bottom third of the order coming up for the Angels. Down 4-0. Against the Astros, Hector Santiago going up against Lance McCullers tomorrow night, and then Nick Tropiano facing his former teammates, the Houston Astros. Mike Fiers is on the mound for Houston.
He of the no-hitter this year against the Dodgers.
That's right. That Wednesday game is an afternoon game here. Angels Live will kick things off at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. 4-0. Dallas Keuchel and the Astros lead it here at the top of the 5th inning. Victorino, Perez, and Featherston coming up for the Angels. 61 pitches for Keuchel, 6 punch-outs, 1 walk. So they've bounced back from his horrific start against Texas his last time out. Victorino chopped one back to Keuchel his first time up. Shows bunt, takes a strike. 1-1.
Keuchel, a very good fielding pitcher. Although he had that error against the Angels his last start at the Big A. He's very solid Gold Glover.
Ground ball to the left side. Altuve in the shift. Calls off. Correa throws out Victorino, and there's out number 1.
And this Astro club uses the shift more than any other club, but they have the pitchers that hit their spots where they're pitching to the shift.
Yeah, it's one thing to move guys around, but you've got to have the smart ones on the mound be able to pitch and hit their spots in order to take advantage of those shifts. As Carlos Perez takes ball 1. Carlos with a base hit to the 3rd. Two-0 count.
That's a chop foul. On the corner. Carlos asking for time at the last second. Back to the mound. Two down. Fans Friday, the Angels host Oktoberfest in the Game 1 Music Garden. Come enjoy live German music, dancing, and beer tasting from a variety of breweries. Get your tickets at the stadium box office or online. Featherston struck out in the third. There were 6 strikeouts for Keuchel. Phillies have not sent more than 4 men to the plate in any one inning yet against Keuchel. Broken bat bouncer to the right side. Valbuena feeds Keuchel, and the Angels go down in order. We head to the bottom of the 5th, still 4-0 Astros. Produced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. It's 4-0 Houston. Couple of 2-run home runs. Gaddis and Correa, proud owners of them. Jared Weaver starts the 5th inning facing 8-9-1. Castro, Marisnik, and Altuve. Jared's coming off his first and only 1-2-3 inning. Has 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 5 hits allowed. Castro struck out looking to end the 2nd. Swings first pitch, pops it up. Eric Kaibar's there, 1 down.
Important for Weaver to have some quick innings to get deeper in this game.
Marisnick saw one pitch in his third inning at bat and grounded out to Crone. Two balls, one strike. Slow breaking ball misses. Now Altuve on deck.
Did a pretty good job as far as tracking the breaking ball from Weaver, especially his slider.
And Marisnick works the walk. Not a guy you want to put on base, especially with Altuve coming up. Marisnick with good speed. 21 stolen bases, has been caught 7 times.
And with that Altuve at the plate, you can certainly put a hit and run on for sure.
He's 1 for 2 tonight. Singled his last time, pardon me, doubled his last time up, just beyond the outstretched glove of Shane Victorino in left. Altuve's 183rd hit of the season. Big lead for Marisnick at first. Boy, how I'm leaning too. Safe. Dino will kind of take a look at it. Carlos Perez will be asked for time.
He was definitely going. See if he got that tag. Looked like he got his hand in.
Mike Scioscia was asking Carlos, I think, to go out and talk with Jared Weaver, just so Dino Weaver will at least take a look at the, or have the guys downstairs take a look at it. I'm not sure why the exchange here between Angel and Scioscia. Altuve swings first pitch, bounces one through the left side. Marisnick will stop at second. Second hit of the night for Altuve. And the Astros with 2 on, 1 out. Springer coming up.
Aggressive as the norm with Altuve. And another hit against the Angels. Altuve. In this game, 335 career hitter against the Angels. Now 75 hits in 220 at bats.
Good speed on the bases for Houston. Springer held up. Struck out looking in the first, singled and scored in the third. Weaver at 78 pitches now. The 79th is a big swing by Springer. Comes up empty on the off-speed pitch.
And change up. Pulled off on that one. Tried to hook that one down on the line. Could not make contact though. And he's always looking for something on the inner half of the plate. Got a base hit on a fastball inside last at bat.
Pulls this one to the left side. Freeze has it go off his glove. Trickles past Ibar. A run will score, and it's 5-0. Two ground balls, the last two batters just to the left of third base.
Talk about that super quick infield it is here in Minute Maid Park.
Springer gets credited with a single, 34th RBI. Runners remain at first and second with one out. Correa now the batter. He's 2 for 2 with a single and a home run. The Angels have action in their bullpen with Wesley right to lefty getting ready. And the slider misses down and away. Pardon me, he's a Ramos getting ready. Wesley initially was thrown. Now it's Ramos. Changeup down and away. 7 hits now against Weaver. He'll run the Correa head out to the bullpen in right center field.
Great numbers for Correa at home here in this ballpark. He's got that good swing to hit the ball hard to right center field.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Correa takes inside. Full count.
It's a little bit off the inside corner. But the runners will be going here now.
Altuve at second, Springer at first. Runners go. This one's fouled back. Runners go again. 3-2 lifted out to right. Not very deep. Featherston has to race out. Cole coming in. Calhoun makes the catch. 2 down.
A lot of ground Cole had to cover to get to that pop up.
So 2 outs, 2 on. 5-0 Houston. Here's Lauer, 0 for 2. Third baseman's hit a fly ball to right with a strikeout. Change up first pitch. 0-1. Ramos ready to go in the bullpen. Rasmus on deck. Lowry takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Next pitch will be the 90th for Jared. Caught the inside corner. 1-2.
Slider just getting the upper part of the strike zone. 90 pitches thrown at a top second inning, which threw 28 pitches. 5th inning so far, and this one also 21.
Breaking pitch. That's foul back. Altuve at second, Springer at first. Springer with the RBI single, scoring Jake Marisnick, who walked. Lowry pulls one to right, a base hit. Altuve is being waved around. Calhoun up and firing on the first base side, and Altuve is out at the plate.
I'm sure they'll look at this play, but what a throw by Cole. If it stands, that'll be his 10th outfield assist. And they're going to take a look at it. Charged it very well, and a firm throw. Looked like he got him.
AJ Hinch is going to come out here.
He got him before that hand got in there.
I don't think they're going to review it.
Right there, the tag is on the back.
AJ's headed back to the dugout. The Astros are coming out of the field, so I think that's the third out without a challenge from AJ Hinch and the Astros. Heck of a play by Cole Calhoun. We head to the top of the sixth inning with the Angels down 5-0.
Been all Astros so far. I think Gaddis got a fastball inside and hits it out for a 2-run home run in the second. The Astros an early lead, and then a fastball away. Carlos Correa hit the ball the other way for a 2-run home run, giving him now 19 on the season. Then a base hit by Jed Lowry, but well played and aggressively charges it. Perfect throw by Cole Calhoun, and a great tag by Carlos Perez prevents the Astros getting even a bigger lead here.
One of the more difficult plays for a catcher. The ball hit the right field because you have no idea where the base runner's at. You just got to assume that swing around and apply a tag somewhere. Nice job by Carlos. A great throw by Cole, charging now quickly.
Especially because now you can't block the plate. That's a perfect throw from Cole.
1-1 to Ibar. He breaks his bat. Rolls it foul. Kept the handle of the bat. Barrel went over toward third. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So nothing left but the very bottom of the handle of the bat. Where Ibar. Talk about sawing someone off. That's almost completely.
Eric is singled in the first. Throwing out, trying to extend the extra base on a wild pitch. Third base. He breaks another bat on back-to-back pitches.
Just a little bit more of the bat left.
Two balls, two strikes. Calhoun on deck, Trout to follow. 6 strikeouts for Keuchel, 1-1. Just 3 hits allowed. 2 singles in the first inning and a single to Carlos Perez in the third.
He's throwing that cut fastball, and he wants another bat.
Keuchel at 78 pitches so far tonight. A little dribbler on the left side. Correa comes charging in. Going to be a tough play. And he keeps it because it's an infield base hit.
It's a heck of a bat for Ibar. And it's with an infield hit. Smile on his face after a couple bats were shattered. Then crushes an infield hit.
Colo for 2. Struck out in the first, grounded out in the third. Down low. Eric's not trying to advance on this wild pitch. Cole bounces this one to the right side. Valbuena thought about going to second, throws to Keuchel, and they get the out at first. Ibar advances to second base.
Ibar at first. Valbuena thought about going to second, then it's a spin around. That's why, as a pitcher, you always go to that base. Anything hit to that side of the infield, no matter what. Can't assume he's going to throw that ball. Second and Keuchel there, be able to make that step on the base.
Trout 1 for 2 with a base hit and a strikeout.
Good numbers in his career versus Keuchel for Trout. Really could use a base hit or something even better than that. Square up one of those cut fastballs inside.
Houston with 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the fifth, up 5-0 downstairs. Infield base hit for Eric. It's the 4th hit for the Angels tonight.
He was trying to leave the ballpark with that cut fastball. Just pulled off it though. That front shoulder opened up on him.
One ball, 2 strikes. Ibar second, Pujols on deck. upstairs. Michael's really slowed things down here in this sixth inning.
Went through a series of signs. Basically, fastball, cut fastball, slider, changeup.
2-2. Trout gets this one towards short, and off the glove of Correa. Ibar will advance to third. That ball, weird bounce to it. Eric stops at third base, so a single for Trout.
So you got an infield hit and a jam shot. Now you have first and third for Pujols. Goes back inside, cut fastball, right above the handle. Just by Correa, who tried this to keep it in front of him. There's no way you're going to throw out Trout. He just wanted to prevent Ibar from getting the third.
So Albert the bat with 2 on. Pujols 0 for 2 with a fly ball to deep center and a ground out to third base. 3 infielders on the left side. Just Valbuena holding Trout on the right side. So roller left side. Albert swinging first pitch. Correa has it. Low throw. Valbuena digs it out. The run scores, and it's 5-1 Houston. Albert swinging a pitch that was down and away from him.
Low throw too. Correa on that slow roller for Pujols. Valbuena did a nice job of scooping that. And just talking to Don Baylor, Dave Hansen, Paul Sorrento today about their approach against Keuchel, because he's going to throw everything for the most part away, fastball wise, cut fastball in. On occasion you can't try to pull that ball, and that's exactly what Albert ended up trying to do.
Trout at second, 2 outs. Cron looks at a strike. 0 for 1 with a pop up and a walk. One ball, one strike on C.J. Cron. In tight. Two one. Right around.
Fastball off the outside part of the plate. C.J. Cron thought he checked his swing. Yeah, he crossed the plate on that one. Imagine he would try to change up or cut fastball in.
Count stays even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Albert, by the way, get credited with an RBI. He's 86th of the year. Ibar scoring here in the 6th inning. It's 5-1 Houston, though. 2 outs. Full count. Freeze on deck. 93 pitches now for Keuchel. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits allowed. Three-two. Fouls that one back. Could rip it a high fastball.
That's the pitch you can drive against, Keuchel. When it's downstairs, very difficult to hit that one out of the ballpark. Elevated fastball, you can do so.
This one's out toward right center field. Marisnick comes in. 3rd out of the inning. The Angels get on the board, but they trail it at the head of the bottom of the 6th inning with the Astros up 5-1. The post-game show for the business of sports, brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by AutoNation Chevrolet Valencia. Jared Weaver back out on the mound. The bottom of the 6th inning. Rasmus, Gaddis, and Valbuena coming up. Jared's worked 5 innings. Allowed 8 hits, 2 of which have been home runs. 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. Rasmus walked and scored in the 2nd, hit a fly ball to right in the 4th inning. And fly ball took Cole to the wall and right. Just missed in. Big swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Got the outside corner, 1 down.
Good changeup right on the outside part of the plate. Good changeup from Weaver.
Gaddis takes. Little bouncer foul. Gaddis lays off, hit the 2-run home run in the second inning. 26th of the year, now with 85 runs batted in. Weaver right now at 100 pitches.
61 of them strikes, 39 out of the strike zone for Weaver. Dangerous fastball upstairs against Gaddis. Homered his first at bat on a fastball on the inside part of the plate. A little bit down in the zone, but fastball pitch he loves to try to drive.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Gaddis. 2 outs. Good off-speed pitch. Strikeout number 4 for Jared.
So in this inning so far, he's got a strikeout on a changeup and back to his curveball. Those pitches we talked about earlier in the game, very important for Weave against this Astro lineup.
One ball, one strike on Valbuena. 0 for 2. Valbuena takes a called strike. Doesn't like the call.
So he tries to bring that no-seam fastball back. Framed well by Perez. A little bit off the inside corner, though.
This one pulled foul. This one hit to the left side, past Freeze for a 2-out base hit. Mike Scioscia's coming out. That's going to be it for Jared with 2 outs here. A pitching change. Jason Castro is due up next. Astros up 5-1. We're at the bottom of the 6th.
MercuryInsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. By the Palazzo, Las Vegas, where every key unlocks a suite. And by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. 5-1 Houston, bottom of the 6th inning. Pitching change for the Halos as Jared Weaver ends up going 5 2/3, gives up 9 hits, 2 of which are home runs, 5 strikeouts and 2 walks. Responsible for Valbuena standing at first base. Cesar Ramos is our in and out. Who's in, who's out?
Very important from the Keuchel break as is at 5-1. 5-1 still have some innings to come back in this game. Keuchel with quite a few pitches thrown himself. Maybe one more inning at most before we go down to the bullpen of the Astros.
Pretty good rip by Castro on that fastball. No balls, 2 strikes. Astros catcher is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and pop it to short. They've got a piece of Carlos there. Count remains at 0-2.
The backswing. Helmet and the mask. Not sure as he tried to reach that outside part of the plate on that breaking ball.
Never fun. One ball, 2 strikes. Caesar pitched last night, 1/3 of it, and he gave up a hit and 1 strikeout. 59th game for Ramos. Marisnik on deck. Castro goes down swinging. The 6th is in the books. We head to the 7th. The Angels down 5-1.
At #West Data Strong fan for a chance to be featured in the upcoming broadcast. Here's a photo for the game tonight. Solid one.
Here in the top of the 7th inning, the Angels will have Freese, Victorino, Perez due up to face Dallas Keuchel. Back out for another inning of work. Not unusual for him. That short outing he had his last start against Texas snapped a string of 40 consecutive outings in which he'd gone 6 or more innings. David Freese looks at a strike. Freese 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts.
When you consider what Freese has done against Dallas Keuchel in his career, 9 for 19. And Keuchel has pitched him very well. Some borderline pitches called against Freese.
Fouled off, 1-2.
Hyundai key for this game. Talk about this is how we do it. You got to find a way to come back. We saw the Astros do that against the Angels on that Sunday afternoon game, scoring 5 runs late. We need that tonight for the Angels.
Well, Topper toward third. Lowry across the diamond. Freese retired for the first out. Up steps Shane Victorino. Shane twice has grounded out. Upstairs. 100 pitches thrown by Keuchel so far.
60% of his pitches in the strike zone. Not the norm for him.
Early on in this game, the Angels were working some deeper counts against him. Victorino pops it up shallow right. Altuve was in the shift, moves over. 2 outs. Halos in jeopardy of falling 3.5 back of the Astros. And then falling a half game behind Minnesota. Minnesota's idle. Angels and the Twins at the start of the day 2.5 back in the second wild card. Angels would fall back behind them. Minnesota would be 3 back. The Angels 3.5. If this score holds, Houston would pick up a half game on the idle Texas Rangers. The Angels would go to 4.5 back in the West, while the Astros would go to 1 back. Those two teams will meet here on Friday night. The last 4 games of the regular season for the Angels are in Arlington against the Rangers.
Again, this lives on that outer part of the plate.
Ball and a strike. Really good. It's back-to-back similar performances by this offense. Consider what Tyler Duffy, the youngster, did in yesterday's game in Minnesota, and what Keuchel has done so far tonight. Angels offense hasn't got anybody on base really. Haven't been able to get guys into scoring position a couple times. Keuchel, heck, he faced the most batters he's faced in any one inning in the 6th. That was 5. Just got 1 run. Carlos fouls it back 2-2.
Both pitches very similar to what we saw from Duffy and from Keuchel. They don't give up many home runs, so you have to bunch hits together. When you start to think in terms of trying to pull the baseball, you play right into their hands. We see a lot of ground ball action, short, third. And for lefties, you'll see more first base and second base instead of going the other way.
Three-two count now. Featherston on deck. Back toward Keuchel, a one-hopper. Stretch time in Houston. Halos down 5-1. At bat, number one app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment and in moment. Game highlights, live look-ins, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet today. Mike Morin takes over on the mound for Cesar Ramos. Throw the ball much better. It's his recent call-up. 39 big league games this year. 3-1 record, a 6.04 ERA. Cesar Ramos worked 1/3 of an inning. It was a strikeout. Good changeup. Marisnik out in front. And it's 1-2. Final lineup: Weaver 5 2/3, 9 hits, 2 are home runs, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, 5 runs all earned. Two. Marisnik, a ground down, a walk, and a run scored. Down it goes.
What a great changeup. It's all set up by that fastball just off the outside corner. What we're seeing, Mike Morin of late, better velocity on his fastball. It's really setting up his changeup. He's got that circle change, but he cuts his changeup a little bit more so against right-handed batters. You see how it tails away. Left-handed batters starts middle and it'll go to the outside part of the place with different angles for his changeup, both lefties and righties, but very, very good.
Jose Altuve with a couple of hits tonight. 2 a double and a single. Throwing out of the plate, trying to score in the 5th inning. This one's out toward right field. That ball's hit pretty well. Cole Calhoun racing back at the last minute, jumps up and he can't get it. Trout backing up on it, gets the baseball back in. Altuve keeps motoring to third. It's a 1-out triple.
That time out of the batter's box, Altuve going hard right away. Off the wall, almost caught by Cole. And then the afterburners just over the glove. And he thought he got it again. And then he turns on the afterburners to get a triple. How quick he is. You saw he had a chance at a triple. He looked like he was comfortable on that slide, though.
Home run shy of a cycle now. The infield is in. Springer looks at a strike. Also a couple of hits for him. 2 for 3. Popped up, C.J. Cron.
What a great changeup.
Two outs now. Infield will move back.
Slide in. What that rip pants look like from an earlier slide. It's an old school uniform working right there.
Yeah, I don't think you're worried about the pants there. It's the old strawberry you got on the back of your leg. It doesn't feel good. That's the worst.
You can feel that every time he's moving around.
The ball's 2 strikes now, Graham.
Well, that changeup is good. That is a plus pitch to Mike Morin.
And he rips one out to right field on a high fastball. It'll bring in a run. On his way to second, the throw sails everybody, and it's 6-1 Houston. You talk about getting on top of a high fastball going the other way.
Well, he's hit a home run on a very similar pitch back in the 3rd inning. Certainly, if you're Hector Santiago, you're looking right now, you don't try to go away upstairs with a fastball. He is super quick. How strong he is to hit a ball that hard the other way. That's another hit. 2-strike pitch for Correa in this game.
$11 hits for the Astros tonight. Lowry looks at a strike. Lowry goes down swinging, and the inning is over. The Astros tack on the run at 6-1 Houston.
This one 6-1 over the Angels. I'm Patrick O'Neill. I hope you stick around after this game for our Angels Live postgame show. I'll be joined with Jose Mota, who really wants to talk about Jared Weaver's mislocation, back-to-back starts, and hope to hear from Mike Scioscia as well. So once again, when this one is over, Angels Live, whatever happens here, maybe the Angels can return the favor late in this game. Still a big couple of games left in this series after tonight. Victor and Mark, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Patrick. Top of the 8th inning. Chris Iannetta to lead things off here. He's pinch hitting for Taylor Featherston. Dallas Keuchel swings first pitch and bounces it foul. Trying to pull that outside pitch, as we have seen quite a bit tonight. Iannetta, 186 hitter this year, 10 home runs, 33 RBIs, 0 for 4 as a pinch hitter.
5 for 15 in his career versus Dallas Keuchel.
Two balls, one strike. This one pulled to the left side. Correa has it. One out. Limited schedule. A lot of off nights for several major league teams. Take a look at the scoreboard. Yankees drop onto Toronto 4-2. Boston lost to Tampa Bay. The Mets over Atlanta. And as far as games that matter to the Angels, there aren't any. Twins are off. Cleveland's off. So is Texas.
David Price won again. Now 17-5 for Toronto.
Ibar bouncing this one to Correa again. 2 outs.
And that pitch away. And a good swing against him his first at bat. Eric did, going the other way. More than likely the last batter here in this game for Dallas Keuchel. One way or the other.
Cole tonight 0 for 3. It'll flare out towards shallow left center field. Correa not going to get there. Neither is Marisnick. So Calhoun fights off a single. And it'll bring up Trout. A.J. Hinch is coming out, so that may be all for Keuchel, as you pointed out.
Especially with that pitch count getting up there now, 116 pitches.
He goes 7 2/3 tonight after a career low. Career high 9 earned runs. The lefty is 13-0 at home this season. In line for his 14th win. Will depart to a nice round of applause. And with his team leading at 6-1. Texas Rangers. Dallas Keuchel returned home to his the comfort at home. He has pitched like it tonight. He is done after 7 2/3, 1 earned run, 6 hits, all singles. He departs with a man at first base, as Mike Trout will come up to face Pat Neshek.
It's amazing those numbers when you think about it at home. Talking about no losses and wins like he's had this year all time. That 13-0 mark at home with a 1.47. Most wins without a loss in 1 year in Major League history. He's tied at that point right now in the history of baseball as far as no losses and wins.
Trout swings first pitch and lifts a lazy fly ball to right field. We into the bottom of the 8th inning. Houston on top. Have a new pitcher on the mound. It's Wesley Wright taking over for Mike Bourne, who in 1 inning able to run on 2 hits and had 2 strikeouts. Wright pitching his 10th game with the Angels. He pitched yesterday in Minnesota, went 1 inning, gave up 2 runs on 2 hits and 2 strikeouts and 1 walk. He's scheduled to face Rasmus Gaddis and Valbuena. Nobody else is loosening. He's got a new second baseman as Ryan Jackson takes over. Of course, that netted pinch hit for Taylor Featherston. So it is Ryan at second base. Action in the Astros bullpen. So it looks like Neshek was a 1-batter situation, 1 pitch. It's all needed to get Mike Trout to the fly ball to end the top of the 8th inning. Rasmus takes a strike. 0 for 2 today with a walk. On the corner, 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Evan Gattis on deck. The Angels with 1 run, 6 hits, 5 left on. Houston with 6 runs, 11 hits, 4 men left on base. Got 2 runs in the second inning on Gattis' 26th home run of the season. Made it 4-0 on Correa's 2-run shot to right field in the third. Got an RBI single by Springer in the 5th to make it 5-0. The Angels got a run in the 6th. And Houston got that run back in the 7th. This one bounced to the right side. 1 down.
And now it's time for the top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. Back in the second inning, a fastball in the inner part of the plate, and didn't miss it right down the line for a 2-run home run for Gattis' 26th home run of the season, 85th RBI, getting the scoring started with the Astros.
Gattis swings first pitch, fouls it off. One for 3 game with that home run. Halos in the 9th have Pujols, Cron, and Freese due up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two on. Gattis pops it up to second. Ryan Jackson is there. 2 down.
Jammed him on the inner part of the plate. Slider.
Josh Fields getting ready for the 9th inning. Foul back. Fouled off. Valbuena 1 for 3. He singled in the 6th. One ball, 2 strikes. There's the 1-2 downstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, going to the breaking ball. Angels will have their hands full with Fields, power arm. Stymied tonight by Dallas Keuchel. Limited the Angels to 6 singles tonight. Back-to-back games for the Angels offense. That's right. He was ahead at 0-2. He's now taking the count full to 3-2. Valbuena bounces it foul, so we'll reset and do it again. Jason Castro, another left-handed batter's on deck. 3-2. Another foul. And Ryan walks him with 2 outs.
Trying to paint a fastball away, but miss quite a bit off the outside corner.
Castro chasing a breaking ball. He's 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of strikeouts and a pop-up.
Wright has a good sharp slider when he stays on top of the baseball.
One. Bouncer right side. Prone will take it. Feeds right. We will head to the ninth. The Angels with Pujols, Prone, and Freese coming up, down 6-1. Fireballing right-hander Josh Fields is pitching in his 51st game this year. 4-1 record, a 3.45 ERA, 47 innings, 62 strikeouts, and only 16 walks. Albert Pujols will lead things off for the Angels here in the ninth.
Fields with that power fastball is 93-97. Slider changeup.
Albert tonight 0 for 3, picked up an RBI on the ground out in the 6th. RBI for Albert is 86th. outfield very deep, especially Marisnick in center. Oliver Perez just playing catch now in the Astros pen at right center. 2 balls, no strikes. Halos in jeopardy, falling to 3.5 back of the Astros in the second wild card spot. 4.5 back in the West. Never really threatened tonight. 3-0. What could have been in the first inning would have been interesting. Exactly. Leadoff single, went to second on a wild pitch. Decided to try to take third. Castro threw him out. That was the first out of the first inning. Cole struck out, then Trout singled. We'll see how that inning would have played out. Just maybe get a run, if not more. 3-1. Tomorrow night they'll face a young right-hander, Lance McCullers. Hector Santiago coming off a horrific start in Minnesota gets the start for the Angels. This one lifted out to center. Marisnick calls off Altuve. 1 down. TJ Crone 0 for 2 with a pop-up, a walk, and a fly ball to center field. Hold 1. Foul back. 0-2. Josh Fields changing the out level. Sails one of the backstop. 1-2.
Slightly overthrown fastball. Reaction back in the stands.
Off speed pitch misses low. Evens a count. Jared Weaver tonight went 5 2/3, gave up 5 runs on 9 hits for almost a third of an inning. More allowing a run on 1 inning work. Three-2 now. Crone, this one foul.
Good fastball, good life on it upstairs, but TJ Crone pretty quick on the fastball upstairs.
Josh Fields has turned into a pretty good Rule 5 selection. Astros taking him from the Red Sox organization. Originally with Seattle out of the University of Georgia. Two down. Halos down to the last out. And not the way they wanted to start this series. 0-1 count on Freeze. 0 for 3 tonight. 2 punch outs and a ground out. Dallas Keuchel in line for his 18th win. He worked 7 2/3 tonight. 6 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. One and two.
That high strike has been called against Freeze throughout this game, and basically the entire game by Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire. But it is getting the upper part of the strike zone.
Yeah. Angels aren't getting beat by Angel. Freeze takes outside. 2-2. Field's ready. 2-2 to Freeze. He drives one out towards center field. That ball's crushed. Marisnik racing back there. Not going to get there. Short hops the fence, and David at second with a 2-out double. 25th of the year.
Pretty hard to hit a ball harder than that. Freeze crushed that baseball. Most every other ballpark, that's going to be a home run. Fastball upstairs. This time he got to it. Down over the plate. One hops that wall. 25th. Double the season for David Freeze.
David Murphy is going to pinch hit for Victorino. 2 outs and a man on. Victorino finishes 0 for 3.
.274 career hitter, pinch hitting, and 19 RBI.
287 this season with 10 home runs, 44 runs batted in. Upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, he doesn't mess around. He just rears back and throws as hard as he can.
Well, the Astros had a 5-run rally against the Angels a week ago Sunday with 2 outs. All he can hope for now. Murphy hits one sharply and past Correa to center. Freeze being waved around. He'll come in to score. It's an RBI single. And it is 6-2 Houston.
Believe me, they're going to be thinking that because they did the same thing against the Angels. Just when you think the game was over. It's another rocket right back up the middle. High fastball, didn't try to pull it, used the middle of the field, hit hard enough, probably partially screened too.
Yeah.
By the umpire.
Ted Barrett at second base.
It's a big screen, by the way. That's a big guy.
Yes, it is. Carlos Perez, a 1 for 3 game. Takes outside. Matt Joyce has come out to the on-deck circle.
This has to be a perfect pitch to hit if you're Carlos Perez. Otherwise, you let it go. You need base runners.
2-1. Top part of the strike zone. Lays off 3-1. They wanted an appeal. He didn't go. Chris Conroy, the first base umpire. Three 1 pitch. Strike, full count. Fouled off. Murphy on the move on a full count with 2 outs. Heads back to first. Three, 2 again. Ball 4. He walked him. They wanted an appeal, didn't go. So 2 hits and a walk with 2 outs here. And Matt Joyce is going to come up and pinch hit. Here comes A.J. Hinch. So the 6-2 game, and Fields unable to get the 3rd out. Hinch is going to go to the bullpen. And this game will continue. It's 6-2 Houston in the 9th. On the mound, the lefty, and Mike Scioscia ends up sending Colin Cowgill out instead. So Cowgill will get an opportunity to keep this game alive. A 179 average for Colin. 2 for 6 as a pinch hitter. Oliver Perez, 62nd game. That's combined now. 2-3 record at 4.14 ERA. 14th game with Houston, and he hasn't been very good at all. 0-2 with a 7.88 ERA. 8 innings. 11 hits, 9 strikeouts, and 4 walks.
Yeah, he's always been a little bit wild in the strike zone. Fastball 88 to 92, slider, changeup, curveball.
Murphy at second. Carlos Perez at first. First pitch swinging, that's fouled back. This is out toward right field. Springer's not going to get there. To fall in for a base hit. Murphy will be stopped, and Perez runs him in. Runs him away from third. Murphy safe at home. What a play.
What a slide.
Unbelievable. Carlos Perez Hernandez ran Murphy off of third. And so David had no choice but to come home, and he scores.
And what a slide he had. Wow, what a slide. The Astros are going to take a look at it.
It's a base hit for Cowgill.
Good swing by Cowgill. And to throw in, you're just going to throw in towards second base area. Caught everybody by surprise.
Not sure why it took A.J. Hinch so long to.
Yeah, you have no. I mean, there's no reason not to check it.
It's the ninth inning. Go check it. Right now, the call on the field is safe. So Ted Barrett and Angel Hernandez, the man who made the call, are on the headsets beyond third base. Carlos, for whatever reason, with 2 outs, just had his head down running as he assumed that Murphy was going to be sent in.
See right here, it's still a tough angle. He got his hand in before that tag hit him in that shoulder, at least the jersey top there.
That hand got down.
I think his hand got in there.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough play to overturn. There's an angle they're showing on the big screen where they're freezing it, but that's assuming that the glove's touching the body.
The other angle looked a little bit better.
But Hinch took forever to make the decision to just
do it right
challenge
away, especially if it end the game. It goes your way.
What are you worried about? Losing a challenge later on if there's extra innings? The call stands. We play on. If the call is overturned, game over.
If the call stands, you bring the tying run to the plate. Then I imagine you wonder if A.J. Hinch would go right back down to the bullpen.
Well, I would imagine they'd want to keep Eric. This is what we've seen history anyways, that they keep Eric from the right side of the plate. But you never know.
In this field, you like to see Eric hit from the right side. Just in case he gets a break a ball down and in, hook it right down the left field line. We got a tie game. Again, we're going to take a look, see if that hand got in before the tag shoulder area.
Taking a long look at it. And all we can do is just wait around. It's 6-3 right now. Heck of a job by David Murphy. Take a look at yet another angle here.
Pretty good angle right here to see if that hand got in.
He is safe. No tag, it appeared. So Murphy scores. Here comes A.J. Hinch, and sure enough, back to the bullpen we go. Another pitching change. 2 runs in for the Angels. The old 2-out rally going. 6-3 Houston. plate. Terrific slide by David Murphy. Also had the RBI single that kind of kept the inning moving along. This has been a 2-out rally. David Freese with a double off the field with 2 outs. Murphy an RBI single. Perez worked a walk. Oliver Perez comes up and gives up the single to the pinch hitter Colin Cowgill. And here we have Luke Gregerson pitching in his 59th game, 27 saves. He's been a terrific addition to this Astros bullpen. Perez, the base runner at third. Cowgill over at first. Ibar at the plate. He is 2 for 4 with a couple of singles and a run scored.
Gregerson throwing a lot more fastballs this year. 87 to 91 slider changeup.
First one in for a strike. Rasmus, as we saw quite a bit at the Big A, shallow and toward the foul line and left. Lowry, the third baseman, in on the grass. Marisnik very deep in center. Springer straight up and right. 0-2. Couple of breaking balls. And the Angels down to the last strike. The 0-2 pitch. That's down in the dirt, smothered by Castro. Calhoun on deck. So most batters the Angels have sent up in any one inning tonight. Ibar in the 7th. Pujols started off this inning by hitting a fly ball to center. 1-2. Pitch down low. Another breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And those that are here in attendance, Astro fans, plus the Astros down in the dugout, not feeling the anxiety, but Angels fans felt a week ago Sunday as they watched the Astros drop a 5 spot on the Halos to pick up the final game of that series. Down to their last strike. That's what the Angels are right now. They've scored twice. 2-2 to Eric now. A chopper to the right side. Altuve's got it. Should do it, and it does. The Astros take game 1 by the final of 6-3, and more importantly, the Angels fall to 3.5 back of the Astros in the second wild card.
Yeah, forcing that game tomorrow night to be an absolute must. Evan Gattis got the scoring started. A 2-run home run in the second. Carlos Correa, a big 2-run home run in the third. And they held on, especially a late rally by the Angels, unable to get that one big hit. Now falling back 3.5 games behind the Astros and 4.5 behind the Texas Rangers.
Well, the Angels dropped the opener of this series. They've lost 2 straight going into game 2 tomorrow night. Stick around. Angels Live postgame is coming up next.